the cosmic architecture of justice, why the wicked can't win. Have you ever looked around at the world and felt completely exhausted? You see people who lie, cheat, and undermine others, yet they get the promotions, they get the money, they seem totally oblivious and completely happy, while honest people get left behind. It makes you wonder, has justice abandoned this earth? Why isn't there a balance? To understand why the world looks so broken right now, we have to throw away our modern idea of fairness. Instead, we need to look at a brilliant, vertical blueprint created by the ancient Greeks. They didn't view justice as a single concept. They viewed it as a four-story ladder of cosmic reality. Once you understand this ladder, you will realize that the corrupt people you see haven't actually won. In fact, their downfall is mathematically guaranteed. Let's start at the absolute top of existence, the deepest, most unforgiving layer of reality. The Greeks called it anangi. Anangi is raw necessity, inevitability, constraint. She is the hard boundary of what can and cannot happen in existence. She is not moral, she is not fair, she is simply the immovable structure of reality itself, the gravity of existence. Even Zeus and the other gods cannot override Anangi. If reality has a structure, it has limits. Right below Anangi is Mira, which means apportionment or fate. If Anangi is the rule that the universe has limits, then Mira is your specific life unfolding inside those limits. Mira is your individual portion of life, your allotted lifespan, your share of joy and your share of suffering. Think of Mira as your life's thread woven into a specific pattern by the fates. It's not random and it's not purely a punishment. It is simply your piece of the grand design. Now we reach the layer where things start making sense. Enter Themis, the titaness of divine law, natural order, and custom. Themis is the bridge between raw cosmic necessity and your lived fate. She doesn't decide your fate, and she doesn't change timelines. Instead, she interprets the architecture of reality. She governs proper timing, cosmic balance, and the framework that makes destiny readable. Here is the key insight about Themis. She doesn't see the future, she knows the structure that produces the future. She doesn't look forward in time, she looks downward into the system. She perceives exactly where an imbalance exists. Her prophecy isn't this specific event will happen. Her prophecy is, given this current arrangement, only this outcome can unfold. She knows that if a structure is disturbed, a correction is mathematically inevitable. Finally, at the bottom of the ladder, we have Dike, the daughter of Themis and Zeus. Dike is cosmic order translated into human society. Where Themis is structural, Dike is practical. She governs fairness between people, human laws, and the actual consequences of moral actions. According to legend, Dike lived on Earth among humans during the Golden and Silver Ages. During this time, there was no war or disease and people lived in peace. However, as humans grew greedy and cruel, Dike became so disgusted by their behavior that she flew up into the sky and became a constellation. She was joined by Strea, the goddess of innocence and objective truth. But here is a chilling fact the myths leave us with. When Dike and Astrea left the earth, humanity wasn't left completely alone. When humans commit crimes that are so horrific they shatter the natural order, like harming a helpless child or betraying absolute trust, a different set of ancient deities awake from the underworld. They are called the Erinis, or the Furies. While Vicky works through slow human courts, the Furies are like a cosmic biological weapon. They hunt down the worst wrongdoers, invading their minds with madness, invincible terror, and biting agony long before any human police officer can find them. The gods left behind a system that absolutely cannot be tricked. When you put this all together, you see the vertical flow. Anangi says raw reality has limits. She represents the things that are, the framework which existence occurs. For example, gravity exists, everything lives and dies. Mira shapes those limits into your life. Pattern, that is the patterns and possibilities woven into your life. Themis organizes those patterns into a balanced structure. That is the intelligence that recognizes how things fit together. If Mira is the pattern, then Themis understands the pattern, and Vicky turns that structure into human ethics. Vicky is the justice that arises from living in harmony or disharmony within that order. She is the visible result of whether human actions align with the deeper structure that Themis perceives, the life pattern Mira weaves, and the necessities established by Anangi. So, when you see a bad person lying, undermining others, and getting ahead, what is actually happening? They are creating a massive, violent imbalance in the third layer, Themis structure. Because they are oblivious and numb, they think they are getting away with it. They climb higher and higher on a mountain of lies, falling into the trap of hubris or extreme pride. But remember, Themis sees the structural imbalance. She knows that a crooked foundation cannot hold a heavy tower. The moment that imbalance peaks, Nemesis, the goddess of retribution, steps out of the shadows. Nemesis doesn't punish out of anger, she punishes to restore the mathematical balance of the cosmic order. The very choices the corrupt person made to climb to the top become the exact trapdoors that drop them to the bottom. The philosopher Socrates once said something that shocked all of Athens. It is far better to suffer injustice than to commit it. Think of your inner self as a city. When you live honestly, your city is beautiful, ordered, and in peace. When a person cheats to get ahead, they are letting rioters burn down their own inner city just to steal a bit of gold from their neighbour. The corrupt people you see are not being rewarded by life. They are just being ruthless. They are well-decorated ghosts living in a prison of their own minds. On the outside, they decorate their lives with mansions, money, and status. But on the inside, they are hollow. Because they had to numb their conscience to hurt others, they have accidentally numbed their ability to feel real joy. Even worse, their minds become a high-security prison. Because they live by lies and manipulation, they automatically assume everyone else is doing the same. They can never trust a single friend, partner, or co-worker. They live in constant, exhausting paranoia, terrified of being exposed. Don't give your power away by watching them. Play your own game honestly. Guard your inner architecture, because keeping your soul clean in a chaotic world isn't a weakness. It is the ultimate cosmic victory. If this video helped you see the world a bit more clearly today, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps this message reach other people. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.